Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Chelsea and this is Bernie. She was getting very jealous that she couldn't be in the video. So here she is. Today in this video I will be talking about how to get into optometry school as in the United States as a Canadian citizen. I'm going to be going over 5 steps. Thanks, Bernie. I think that will get you to where you want to go academically. So the first thing is obviously getting an undergrad and writing your OAT. Now for your undergrad, you can really do anything. They prefer science-based. Some schools, they only want like a Bachelor of Science, where there are other ones, they don't care what you took as long as you took the prerequisites. With that as well, you can also, I know someone who they didn't even do an undergraduate degree, they just did the prerequisites in order to apply. Because you can't apply after 3rd year. So technically, depending on the school, again, you wouldn't have your full like bachelor's honors. At least in my school, like you could get your Bachelor of Science in 3 years, but everyone does the 4 years, which is like the honors in that 4th year. So the first thing is at least at the very minimum, getting all your prerequisites, organic chemistry, they make you take a philosophy, and then obviously all your sciences, microbiome, chems, physics, maths, etc. Another part of that first part is also writing your OAT. Now this is kind of like the MCAT equivalent of optometry school. It's not as long. I think mine was 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours. I wrote that last summer. So my advice would be to write that in your 2nd or 3rd year if you want to go straight after your 4-year. For the OAT, most schools, so it's out of 400, and most schools consider 300 above. They won't really look at you if you have 200 in any section. Now that's a really general rule, not like a really general rule, that's like a really oversimplified way of thinking of it, but try to aim to get above 300. Me personally, my score was above 300. I did hit 300, above 300 in every section. Look at the averages for each school and see what theirs are. Yeah, it's just really a generalized test. It's more testing your endurance, whether going into really specific biochem question. The second step is to create an OptumCast account. So that's like a centralized portal that all of the United States schools use, and as a Canadian student there's no problem making an account. You upload, it's like your resume basically, plus your OAT score, plus your GPA, all of your volunteer, extracurriculars, and you do have to write a few personal pieces on there. Something to also keep in mind is that some schools do require additional applications. So I think MCPHS, that's in Boston, they did require to have like an extra piece that you wrote just for them. That obviously came with an additional fee, and yeah, so just do that. It all depends on the school you're applying to, but creating your OptumCast account is really crucial. As soon as you write your OAT, even before then, I would start working on it. It did take me like all of last summer pretty much to create like a really strong profile on there, and at the end of the day that's what all the schools are going to look at, and then from there you can choose which schools you want to see it, and you just kind of pay a fee depending on like how many you want. My third step is hopefully once you've gotten your undergrad, you've written your OAT, you made your profile, hopefully you get asked for interviews. And as a Canadian, it was kind of hard in my 4th year to be going to interviews in the United States. So my best advice for everyone, I can make a separate interview video on like the types of questions they ask and how to prepare, what to wear and stuff. But just in general for this step, my biggest advice would be to try to get the interviews done as soon as possible, because the United States are on rolling admissions. So you obviously want to get in there first, you want to be seen first so that they can make the decision. This would also be to really know your schedule well and book your interview during a time where it's not going to stress you out, because the school I'm actually going to, my interview for it, my flight got delayed. Yeah, it was like I got in really late, so then The interview was early in the morning and I had to get ready and like all this stuff. And also another tip for this would be to bring someone with you if you can. A lot of the interview, like actual days, they don't allow you to bring a family member or a boyfriend, friend like on the tour or anything like that. But at least having them there with you, and you can make a little trip out of it. Yeah. Tip number 4, so once you've gotten into a school, you've had your interview, things have gone well, you've got your acceptance, the next step you need to be aware of is visas. Now, coming as a Canadian student to the United States for school, you do have to be aware that there are a lot of rules and regulations that you have to follow. You can't just head over there. As a student, you need to get your F1 visa, which is like ultimately what you get, but first you get your SEVIS papers, and usually the school will send you that. You just have to fill it out. You send your passport picture with it. I think there's a fee, and then once that's approved, then you can apply for your F1 visa. I learned the hard way is that you don't need to go to the consulate to get it. I did. United States consulate in Toronto. Pouring rain. It was just I didn't need to do that. They told me while I was there that you can get it at the airport, no problem. But again, it's up to you. I'm one of those people that like to have everything set up before I go. So yeah, that was that. And once you have everything, you've got your acceptance, you paid your fees, all this stuff, the main question is, and which caused me a lot of stress personally, and I'm sure it does no matter what situation that you're in, and it is all individualized, is how to pay for it. Because coming as a Canadian student to the US, whether it's a medical degree, dentistry, optometry, it is very expensive. I would just advise people to just take a deep breath, speak to their parents if they do have that option, speak to your bank, find a really good banking advisor. I bank with RBC in Canada, and I have a super great advisor who's more like a big sister, that, you know, she helped me and my parents, and they went over all the finances and this and that, and figure out if you can get a loan. A lot of people don't know this, but the maximum loan for optometry students in Canada to study in the United States, I believe, is $120,000 or $130,000. And most programs, 4-year programs, range between $200,000 to $400,000 depending on the school. So obviously that doesn't carry it, so you do need that extra bit. So my advice would be to not freak out, to go over your options. There are always grant options, there's OSAP. I personally had never taken out OSAP until this year, and I'm still actually in the process of waiting to get approved for it. But I didn't know, which is really good, is that they do give grants as well, and it's all individualized depending on how much you're eligible for. But look at grants. I'll link below some external grant websites that I found that were pretty helpful. But at the end of the day, my advice is that it is your future that you're investing in. So anything's possible, even if you do come from perhaps a situation where this is a huge financial burden. Don't let that weigh you down. Don't let it get to you. Just know that you're investing in yourself, and $400,000 in education and your lifelong career is better than spending it on miscellaneous things over 10-20 years. So that would be my advice, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm super excited to start this channel. A little background about me before I go. So I'm moving from Toronto. I'm a Toronto citizen to Florida next week, and I'm starting at NSU. I'm super excited, and I'll fill you guys in along the way. Final goodbyes, and thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.